Tonight on America's Hope, what's happening with education in America? We'll be talking to Olivia Krolczyk, who got into trouble for identifying herself as a biological woman. And Professor Nicholas Giordano joins us to talk about how border security is impacting how your child is taught at school. America's Hope starts right now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Wright, and this is America's Hope. We do hope that wherever you are, that you're safe and well, taking care of yourself and your family, because you matter. You really do matter. You matter to your family, you matter to your loved ones. And in this current climate we find ourselves living in, many people are torn asunder about sex. Are they male, female, transgender? And it's actually worked its way into college campuses, into high schools, into elementary schools, and it's become quite confusing for some, but certainly not for our next guest. Olivia Krolczyk is Riley Gaines Center Ambassador and Campus Reform Reporter. She works with the projects of the Leadership Institute, and both of these organizations are part of that. And while pursuing her major in chemistry at the University of Cincinnati, she was given a failing grade in one of her courses for using the term biological woman. Olivia's post about her experience on TikTok reached more than 6 million views before it was deleted from the platform for community guideline violations. And later, Olivia was permanently banned from TikTok for speaking the truth about being a biological woman, and pointing out the fact that men and women are in fact biologically different. It's how God made us. Anyway, she joins us now. Olivia, thank you for joining America's Hope. First of all, that chemistry major, how important is it for your completion of your degree?
Well, as a chemistry major, of course, it's so important to be able to take these science courses, but at University of Cincinnati, diversity, equity, and inclusion classes are a requirement in order to get your degree. So I was forced to pick between a couple class options, being LGBTQIA plus activism, queer studies, and then what seemed to be the less of the evils, women's gender studies.
So this class, when you were talking about yourself and identifying yourself as being a biological woman, how did that all come about? What were you writing the paper for?
Yeah, so I had to complete a project on feminism in this class, and we could choose any topic we wanted to, really, as long as we were able to use 3 sources from our class projects and assignments and things like that to support our work. So I chose to write about the rights and opportunities that women have had in athletics and history. And I started with the first woman in the Olympics, going all the way to what we are experiencing now with an example of Riley Gaines competing against Will Thomas and, having to face a man. And in this project, I used the term biological woman. And I now know that it was redundant in itself to use the term biological in front of women, because that's really playing their game by letting them know, hey, there's a different kind of woman, but there's not. So I shouldn't have used biological to begin with, but my professor decided to give me a 0% on this project, saying that biological woman was transphobic, it was outdated, and contributed to heteronormativity, and so she gave me a 0% on the project.
Did you intend it for that purpose? Were you even thinking that way?
I actually used the term biological because I think it was the conservative student in me trying to, not get in trouble, which clearly did not work because she failed me anyways. But no, I did not intend to get in trouble. I wanted to write about what I really believed in, and it was a feminism project. So if you're, okay with trans people competing in women's sports, then aren't you going against the basics of feminism, supporting women?
So have you had a discussion with this particular professor since then?
Yeah, so after she assigned me the 0 on the project, I emailed back and forth with her a little bit, and the conclusion of those emails were that women like women are outdated, and it was transphobic to say that in my project. And then she pretty much let me know that sex is not binary. And from that point on, I knew that it was not going to go anywhere. So I reached out to other members at the university. I think it was the Gender Equity Office, and then the Title IX office. And it took about 2 full weeks until someone was able to finally work with me to figure out what was going to happen about this grade. And in that time, I had posted a clip on social media, on TikTok specifically, not expecting it to go anywhere. I talked to maybe my couple hundred followers at the time saying, hey, I just got failed for saying biological woman. And in that time, that TikTok blew up to about, I think it was 6.4 million views before I got banned. And so I started getting asked to go on different shows, and a lot of media was, gaining this information, and it really brought a lot of spark to the school, and they realized, okay, maybe we should do something about this because we are getting in trouble here. So they ended up changing my grade. A different professor graded my project, and I got 100 on it. And wow. They also decided to reprimand my professor, and that basically means, give her a punishment for doing this. And that punishment was to submit her syllabus for the upcoming school year, and then to take a free speech course, which in itself was a slap on the hand for failing a student for her opinion. But a couple days after this happened, after it was announced that she was being reprimanded, I found out from a third source that they actually reversed it quietly. Like, they didn't let the media know that the teacher actually didn't end up getting punished.
So what's your message to America about where we are in this constant debate that affects even a college student trying to get her degree accomplished, and because she uses a term that a professor doesn't agree with, because you use the term biological woman, where are we in our society right now with these culture wars that have been established?
Yeah, we are in a very dangerous time in society where we have universities and companies who are pushing towards erasing women and suppressing free speech. And I have learned that firsthand, where I couldn't say biological woman and I couldn't write about men competing in women's sports without having my speech suppressed and without getting a failing grade. So it's very important to recognize that this is happening across the nation. I am one in thousands of stories of this happening to students. I have received hundreds of messages from other students saying, hey, this also happened to me, or wow, I'm too afraid to even write about that because I know that my grade would be awful if my teacher didn't agree with my project. And I even received a message from a student at University of Cincinnati in 2007 saying, hey, this teacher did this to me, almost the exact same thing that happened to you, and failed me for it. And I looked up that professor, still teaching at University of Cincinnati. So we're at a point in time where universities are using these DEI mandates, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and forcing their students, they're being bullies, forcing these students to take these classes in order to get a job. Because we are pretty much submissive to this college education. We have to do this in order to get good opportunities and good jobs in life.